Thank you. I'm going to start. I'm sharing already. All right. Let me just move to slide. Good evening once again, everyone, and I welcome you as ever, as always, to the Nigeria M365 Community Mentorship Program. As always, we have started this program since February, and we will be running it till 4 months. This is the Nigeria M365 Community, a community of learners, of professionals alike who come together to learn, to grow, and to upgrade their skills in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And this is a 4 months intensive Microsoft 365 mentorship program as organized and put together by the leadership and the mentors and organizers in the Nigeria M365 community. This program is intended to help beginners and professionals alike who want to upgrade their skills and beginners to kickstart their digital skills journey. This is totally free and it is brought to you by the Nigeria M365 community. In this program, we welcome participants from all over the world, from across the globe, and we will be mentoring everyone through these technologies: the Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Studio, Microsoft Entra ID, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Defender XDR, and Microsoft Purview for compliance. And today, like yesterday, we will be going into the Microsoft Intune Fundamentals as taken by Emmanuel Oyimafu. Before I go on, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Aishat Oshileye, and I am just someone who is passionate about technology. I love to help individuals and organizations to unlock productivity through Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, and modern workplace technologies, driven by growth, community impact, and innovation. This is me in a jiffy. And let me welcome Emmanuel Oyimafu. But before that, let me first of all, thank the leadership of the Nigeria M365 community, starting with Madam Olajumoke Toriola, who has given us this platform, who has given us the resources to ensure that this community thrives and to ensure that all our programs and activities are a success. I also want to thank the other leaders in the persons of Emmanuel Itoje, in the person of Joseph Afeso. We also have Rafia Abdusalam, and our mentors like Adekunle, like Emmanuel, and the rest, a whole lot of them who are giving their time, their energy, and their knowledge, sharing them all with us to ensure that we learn or we grasp one or two from them. So please, I want to implore everyone to give them a whole round of applause to encourage them for their service and for their selflessness towards the community. Before we go on, I would like us all to encourage one another. If you are here today and if you've started this program with us since February and you're still here at this point, although we have not gone far, right? We've gone really far, but we are still not gone far. We still have a lot to learn. Please, I want you to give yourself a round of applause for coming this far. It's not a small thing, right? A lot of us who started with us are not here at the moment, but for you to have come this far, it means you mean serious business. So thank you very much. I want to thank you for always showing up, because without you, we cannot be here pushing. There will be nothing for us to push forward, right? Thank you very much. On that note, I would love to usher in Emmanuel Oyimafu, a technical architect in Microsoft 365 Azure and cloud security. Like I introduced him yesterday and before, he's a strategic cloud and security specialist with 5 years experience in designing, securing, and optimizing Microsoft Azure hybrid and multi-cloud environments. He's adept at aligning technology with business goals, driving adoption of Microsoft 365 and cloud security tools, and delivering scalable, resilient, and compliant solutions for enterprise clients. On this note, let's give some drum roll, clapping emoji, and whatever emoji you have within your reach to welcome and appreciate Emmanuel Oyimafu. Thank you very much, as always, for coming, and you have the floor now. Before we go, sorry, I forgot about that. I want to run us through the few housekeeping rules that we have, right? The fact that the session is being recorded and will be made available for everyone to view. If you have any question, you can raise your hand till the Q&A session or drop them down in the chat area. We will be sharing our socials, the link to our socials on the groups later on. And we have actually shared them before, but we will still try and share them again. Please engage with our social media channels, engage with our contents, follow us, like our content, and thank you. Enjoy the session tonight. Oyimafu, you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aisha. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I also want to appreciate the founder of this great community, Madam Odajumoke Toriola, and also other organizers like Joseph Afeso, Emmanuel Itoji, Rafia Abdusalam, and Aisha, and also Paul Ogburefo, who is not here. So I want to appreciate everyone for actually joining today. So I'll be sharing my screen. So before I start, I would like to conduct a survey on a link on the chat. So I just need the first 50 people to click on that link and participate in this survey. So I can actually get a lot of feedback and see ways of improvement. So I'm seeing here that just one person has joined. So once we get up to 20, we can move to the next slide. So let's join so that some of us were saying that yesterday they didn't share survey form. So you can actually use this to actually give me feedback, because the essence of the survey form is to give feedback on the section. How was it? Do you have any question? Do you have anything you want to say? And most of these things are actually anonymous. I want to know who filled them. So let's just join. We just have 15. Maybe we can go like 20. Once 20 extra people join, once 20 more people join, then I'll go to the next page so we can start the survey. 16. Okay, we are coming up. We are coming up. We are coming up. We are coming up. Okay, 17. We are coming up. Okay, just 3 more. 3 more. 3 more to join. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Yeah, so I'll move to the next slide. Hopefully, the 20th person will join. So we just have 19. So the reason why I'm actually conducting this survey is to understand what was clear, useful, worth revisiting from yesterday's section, and also to gather feedback on the topics covered on Intune Fundamentals, Entra ID Basics, Hyper-V VMs, and Microsoft Graph to help shape today's section so it better matches our needs. So we'll start with the first question, which is this: how well do this statement describe yesterday's section? Was the section very easy to follow? Was the pace felt appropriate? So you can just give your honest feedback here. So if you feel more comfortable about the topic covered, you give. If the section met your expectation, you give. So we're actually voting. So we are voting. So the section met my expectation is winning. Okay, so it's coming down, it's coming down. I feel more confident about the topic covered, 9.2. So let's just vote. So we have 13 out of 22 people that have voted. So let's engage, let's engage, let's engage, because the essence of this feedback is to actually gather like information from yesterday's section and actually aid improvement. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide, which is which topic was most valuable to you? So among the topics, which one was most valuable to you? Is it Entra ID basics? Is it creating Hyper-V VMs? Is it Microsoft Graph for users and groups? So which of them was valuable? So we have 9 people voting for Entra ID basics. So we are waiting for other people to vote. Okay, we won't be able to wait, which means Entra ID basic was most valuable. Okay, so the next now we are moving. What was the clearest part of yesterday's section? How to create users on Entra ID, Entra ID basics, Hyper-V. Wow, this person really understood everything that was covered yesterday, because if this was your clearest part, then you understood it. It was appropriate, but I will need a PDF for notes too. Okay, thank you. I will actually provide a PDF. Okay, so I'm actually gathering feedback. So you can write the clearest part of yesterday's section: how to create virtual machine on physical desktop and how to customize our login page. Wow, this is very good. If that's the only thing you have learned, at least you still learned something. Hyper, somebody is dropping on the chat, Hyper-V VMs. Thank you. Thank you very much. So some other people, Entra ID basics. Okay. So let me go to the next slide, because how to create users and groups and assign groups. Okay. So the next is, what feedback do you have on the content, the pacing, delivery, and relevance? Is it relevant to what you do? Is it what you want to learn? Is the content okay? Is it passing the message? Is my speed too much or is too low? Is the delivery okay? Are you actually getting value from the training? So just give your feedback. Give an assignment to do. Okay, I will try my best to give assignment today. And once I give assignments, I want us to post it on LinkedIn and tag Nigerian M365 Community. And you can mention our mentors like Joseph Afesu, Aishat Oshileye, Rafia Abdusalam, Emmanuel Itoji, Ifeoluwa Omotosho, Saheed Owadi, and also Madam Olajumoke and Madam Titi. You can mention them too. So just 4 people have responded. It is relevant to what I came here for. Okay. The relevance was okay, but the terminology should be explained better, more like an abbreviation. Okay, thank you very much. I'll try to actually do better in terms of the terminology. This survey is just to gather feedback so that at least I will get more clarity to work on the better things to make the class more lively. So we'll just go to the next part. Overall, how satisfied were you with yesterday's section? Was it okay? Would you recommend the section for others to join? And we can also tell some of our friends, if you know any of your friend that is actually interested in coming into IT, you can tell them about this mentorship program so that they can join and learn. So we can see that it is beneficial, and a lot of us would recommend the section for others. Okay, thank you. So that's the end. Thank you for your feedback. It will help me shape today's section. Yeah, so I'm going to end the presentation and I'll move to today's section. Okay. I want to share my slide. If you can see my screen, you can just give me a thumbs up. So I know you can see my screen. Just a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, thank you. I can see some thumbs up. So it means that we can see my screen. Thank you very much. So today, I'm here again. I was here yesterday and I'm here today. Thank God for life, because if not for the gift of life, I won't be here today. So I really thank God for keeping me alive to see this day, to see another day again like this. So my name is Oyimafu Emmanuel, just like Aisha has introduced me. That's me. I'm a technical architect on Microsoft Azure, cloud security, and M365. So I hover around all these solutions, and that's what I do in my day-to-day work. I'll just go to my agenda for today. So firstly, I'm going to explain, or we are going to understand Microsoft Entra ID and device registration. And we are going to see the different registration types that we have. We'll see a visual comparison, then there will be hands-on on configuring device registration, validation and management of registration, best practices, pitfalls, and real-world use case. And we will now transition to Intune enrollment. So let's start with the first, which is Entra ID and device basics. So this Entra ID and device basics now, there are some benefits it brings to organization. So firstly, we have device registration, and we have Entra ID device join. So when we say join, it's different from registration, but I want us to start with registration first. So one of the key advantage of device registration is it gives staffs the ability to actually use their own system to access companies' resources. Let's get the definition. So device registration is just like me now. I have my personal system and I want to use it to work. Then send emails, go to Teams, go to SharePoint, access documents. Then I now decide to register the system with the organization. It doesn't mean that the system is owned by the organization. It is my own personal system. I'm just associating it with the organization so that I can actually access company files and so that the organization can secure the applications that I'm actually having access to with Microsoft security features like conditional access and single sign-on. So one of the benefits of device registration is identity association. Yeah. So once employees register their device, they link those devices to Entra ID for conditional access and single sign-on. So there are a lot of benefit of this. So if we now move to security and BYOD, this BYOD stands for bring your own device. So an example of bring your own device is maybe, for instance, you got a job in Upwork. Upwork is a freelancers platform where you can get gigs, like you can get support jobs there. You can get different jobs so long as you write your proposal very well and you actually put good cover letter. You can get gigs in Upwork. So if, for instance, now you get a gig in Upwork and your client is in United States and you want to work for that client, not all clients will send laptop to you from their country. They can say, okay, if you have your system, we want you to use a system that has Windows 11 OS, a system that has trusted platform module, a system that is up to date, so that you can use it to access our resources. In that case, you are using bring your own device. That is BYOD. You are bringing your own device, but it doesn't mean that because you are bringing your own device, the company now have access to manage everything about the device. No. The only thing the company have access to manage is just the applications running in that device, like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, and if you are using OneNote, or maybe you are using maybe ClipClamp or any other Microsoft app. So it improves compliance and cuts unauthorized access by 60%. That's just one example of BYOD. You could be a contractor. Maybe you have a business with an organization, you want to work with them. With BYOD, you can register your device, do your job, access files securely, and work. That's just the essence. So that's why we see this picture here. This is an employee that wants to work for an organization. Probably the organization is in US, or you are in Abuja and the organization is in Lagos. You want to access their files and they want you to use your own system. So most times the strategy that they use is BYOD, which is bring your own device. Bring your own device. Yeah. So let's look at BYOD device registration analogy. If you look at this very well, you will really understand the analogy behind bring your own device. It's just like a guest pass. There are some organizations you go to. If you want to enter, you must have a visitor's tag. If you don't have a visitor's tag, you can't enter. So registering personal devices is like issuing visitors badges with scoped access. There are some organizations you will go to with that pass. There are some floors you can't go to. Your pass will even state the floor that you have access to. In your pass, they can see you are going to 4th floor. And if you go to the 5th floor, if you use your access card to open the elevator, it will not open because you don't have access to the 5th floor. You have only been given access to the 4th floor. So in that case, it's just like BYOD2. Maybe for instance, an organization allows you to register your own device so that you can access their files and information. Despite the fact that they are giving you access, doesn't mean that you can have access to files that you are not supposed to have access to. You only have access to files that you are supposed to have access to. That is where this scoped access comes in. To scope something is just like maybe you are giving somebody access, but not everything. You are scoping it to what they really need to work with. That is one key feature of one key analogy of BYOD that can enable us to understand it very well. Then we have policy and security. So it also helps to enforce device level rules and enforce encryption, compliance, and controlled resource access. Those are one of the analogy of BYOD. You can encrypt your data in that system. You can enforce compliance on that system. Because for your system to be a BYOD device, you have to register the system to Entra ID and you have to enroll the system to Intune, or you are not joining it, which we are going to see how to register devices to Intune, how to join devices to Intune, and how to also enroll devices how to join devices to Entra ID, sorry, and how to enroll devices to Intune. So you join devices to Entra ID, you enroll devices to Intune. Let's not forget, because you can be asked an interview. If you are talking about Entra, we have join devices. You join devices to Entra. Why for Intune, you enroll devices. Although all these things I'm saying may look very hard, but once we get to the demo, it will be very easy for us to understand sincerely. So now let's look at adoption and impact. So 70% of enterprise use BYOD to boost productivity while managing risk. Maybe for instance, like the example I give, you apply for a job in Upwork and you got the job and the company is in US. They give you that job. Sometimes for them to send laptop from United States to Nigeria, it can take 3 or 4 days before the laptop gets to you. And that's if they are using Express, because on a normal day, it could even take more than that to get to you. And you need to work. At that time, no productivity because you are waiting for laptop. But if you are allowed to use your own laptop, it can boost productivity. You can work and the organization will manage their risk. Yeah. So that's BYOD, device registration and analogy. Let's not forget, BYOD is just like a pass. And BYOD means bring your own device. It's just like you have your own device. You are registering it with the organization so that you can have secure access. They can apply compliance policies to your device. And we are going to see how to create compliance policies and also configuration policies. And we are going to like the topic. So we'll now move to device registration types so that we'll see those things I'm talking about. So for device registration type, we have these types of registration. We have Entra registered. This Entra registered now is user-owned device. Let's not forget, when you hear register, it's user-owned device. It is their own device with limited organizational control. There was a time that we're enforcing Intune in our organization. We want everybody to join their device to Entra ID. If I chat with some of my colleagues up, I say how far. I'll check Intune. I discover that their devices are not joined to Intune or are not enrolled to Intune. I will not tell them that how far. They will say it is my personal device. It's not company device. I don't want company to have access to some files. I will tell them that company will not have access to your files, your personal files. It's only their file that they will have access. Some of them will say I should send them documentation. I should send them link. I will now send them some documentation. Now like, okay. Some of them are contractors. Some of them are consultants. Yeah. So, but we need them to actually register their device so that we can protect our data that are on their devices. We don't have issue with their own personal data. It's just our own data that is in that device that we have issue with, because we know if anything happens to that data, the organization has been compromised and everything that the organization have worked for can be a mess within a few minutes. So Entra ID registered is just like a user registering their own device to the organization, and the organization has limited organizational control. So this part now is where BYOD comes in, because Entra registered is ideal for BYOD, which is bring your own device. Then we now move to Entra join. So this Entra join now is when the laptop you are using is the organization that bought it for you. Like it's company owned device. That's where we now move to Entra join, which we now look at corporate owned. This one is user owned. This one is corporate owned. Then it is Entra ID only. What this one does is that it enables full management and advanced security controls. So you see, this one will give the organization full management, but for registered or BYOD, it gives the organization limited organizational control. If you join your device to Entra ID, it means that the organization has full management and advanced security controls over your system. They can do a lot of things in your system, like they can isolate your system in times of, let's say, any security alert or incidents. They can isolate your system. An admin can even remote to your system. They can do a lot of security features in terms of Microsoft Defender for endpoints and also Intune. And also we have hybrid joined. So this hybrid join, we are not going to really touch this, because if we want to go into hybrid join, it means that we are going to touch Active Directory. And if I go to Active Directory now, it might look very hard, but it's not as if it's hard. But I want us to start with Entra ID first. Then once we understand Entra ID, then later on our own, we can go and watch some videos on YouTube, like our founder, Madam Olajumoke Toriola. She has a lot of sections on Active Directory that is in her YouTube channel. If later I stumble on it, I'll share with us. And even some other mentors here too have sections like that, which once I see, I will share, so that that can boost our knowledge on on-prem Active Directory. Yeah. So this is it. So hybrid now, just like I explained in the first class that we explained about cloud computing. So hybrid is just like you have a device that is joined to the on-premise domain controller and also joined to Entra ID. Means that the device exists both in the on-premise and exists in the cloud. Here, Entra ID joined. Any device that is Entra ID joined is a cloud-only device. Like it is cloud-only because it is only joined to Entra ID. But any hybrid joined device means that that device is joined to the on-prem AD and Entra ID. One of the reasons why organizations use on-premise Active Directory and Entra ID is because there are some group policies you want to create using Active Directory that Intune doesn't support. And because of that, they just feel like, okay, let's use both of them. The ones that Intune supports we use Intune to create them. So for on-prem AD now, you call it group policies that are used to manage devices and users. Why for Entra ID or Intune, you call it configuration profiles. You create configuration profiles where if you want to deploy wallpaper, you want to push this, you want to push screen lock, or you want to disable features in somebody's system, just like you do using on-premise Active Directory. You can also do same in Intune, but there are some features in Intune that there are some features in on-prem AD that you may not get in Intune for now, which I believe Microsoft is seriously working on those things so that they can actually have all the features and they can satisfy their customers more and empower them. Because that's the vision of Microsoft. That's their mission, to empower all organizations. So this Entra hybrid joint devices now, it blends legacy management with cloud benefits. So when we say legacy, the legacy here now is on-prem AD. On-prem, anything on-prem is private, like it is your own. It is your own Active Directory. You are the one managing it. But for Entra, it is cloud. So hybrid means you are blending legacy management with cloud benefits. So that's hybrid. So the key difference is that management now is limited versus this first one now, BYOD, which is Entra registered. The management is limited. While for Entra, the management is full. While for hybrid is mixed because it's combining local and cloud. Anything hybrid means you are combining two things. When we say hybrid users, just like the way we have hybrid users, those users are actually existing on-prem and also in the cloud. So for hybrid joint devices, they are devices that actually exist in the local Active Directory and also in the cloud. Like the scenario I give, why organizations use hybrid joint devices is because there are some organizations that their security is very rock solid. Like their security, even in configuring their AD Connect, they use federation because they want every of their authentication to be dependent on their local infrastructure. They don't want to do password hash. They don't want to do pass-through authentication. They want federation. They want their ADFS servers to be handling the authentication. That is a full on-premise environment. There are some environments like that. So most of them prefers to combine the two so that at least they can enjoy those rich features of the on-premise AD. So the next is seamless legacy aware. So seamless versus legacy aware. So this first one, in terms of security, it gives the organization basic security, which is Entra ID registered. It's just give them basic security because it is not the organization that have it. You can't come and be managing my own laptop or my own device for me. It's not possible. You did not buy it for me. So it's only the device that the organization buy that they can have full control over that device. That's just it. If you are working for a company and you join your device to their Entra ID, you need to tell them that this is your own device because maybe, for instance, you want to do other things, you can't do it. It's not supposed to be like that. It should be registered, not joined. So you now look at for joined, it gives you advanced security, while hybrid gives you enhanced security. The reason why hybrid gives you enhanced security is because you are combining two platforms together. This one you are using only cloud. Why this one you are using on-prem plus cloud? On-prem alone has a lot of security features. You now want to bring Entra ID and add to it. That means it's enhanced too. So that's just the key differences between all this. So we are going to go to the lab because at least I've talk, and it's good we are talk and do. We are talk and do. Not that we are waiting. We are waiting until maybe we finish everything. So let's practice. Let's practice. So for hybrid join scenario, we're not going to touch this hybrid join because if we want to touch hybrid join, that means we will need to cover Active Directory first. And it's not good for me to just go straight to be doing hybrid joined if I did not explain Active Directory. So I won't touch it. I will only focus on Entra join and registered device, which is personal devices. So let me see. Okay, so let me just go before I go to the lab. But those are the things we'll cover. So the device registration flow, we are going to understand all this, how the device initiation works, how the authentication work, how the endpoint registration work, how certificates issuance, because once you join any device to Entra ID, a certificate is installed on that device. And the device is also integrated with Intune. You see why yesterday I taught Entra ID? Because Entra ID and Intune, they are like friends. They are very close. They are very close, like they are 5 and 6. And we will now confirm the status of the workflow. So we'll just go. So let me share the other screen so that we can start up some configurations. Okay. So yesterday, for those of us that have not downloaded the Windows 11 ISO, so let me still drop this link because I've not closed this tab. So let me drop it on the chat for some of us that want to download it. Okay, I've dropped it on the chat. For those of us that don't want to use Hyper-V, VirtualBox is no hard. Once you just open this link, click on download, then use it to create your VMs. Okay, so let me come to Entra. So we'll be doing some things in Entra ID first before we even go to say we want to like enroll the devices to Intune. So I'll show us some stuff so that at least we'll understand everything we need to understand with regards Microsoft Intune. So remember when I was teaching the other time, when I was teaching during Entra ID Part 3, I taught us device settings. So I'm going to go back to device settings again because there are some features I want us to look at in device settings so that we'll understand device settings properly. So if I log into Entra ID, this is Entra ID. This is Entra ID portal. So in my own environment, it is not a production environment. You would have seen a lot of devices here. Some environments you see 1,000, 900, 2,000. But this one is just a test environment. You won't really see much. So once you click on devices, you see what we call all devices. If I click on all devices now, it will show me all the devices I have. And we can even see the join type. So if I collapse this is the join, this is the like the join type. So I only have one Entra ID join devices. The rest are registered, meaning that those devices are not owned by the organization. It is only this one that is owned by the organization. This one here is owned by the organization. Yeah, so that is why you see Entra ID join. So any Entra ID join device is a corporate device. It is not an individual device. So you can see here that I'm even managing this device with Intune. So MDM is applying to the device. So I registered it with Intune. But this one now is registered because it's my personal laptop. Oyimafu personal. So it's my personal laptop. Because it's personal, then there's no way I can actually the organization has limited control over this device. So you can see here, all these ones not applicable. No settings is applicable to them. So some of all these computers you see here, they are stilled. Some of them are not really existing. They are not really existing. So I will delete some of them because most of them are not existing, most especially all these systems here. So I'll delete them. Let me clean up my environment because my environment looks like a mess. So this phone is existing. So I'll leave it. But all these devices, they are not existing. This one is existing. You can see here compliance, yes, meaning that it is existing. So I'll delete these computers. I don't need them because They are just making my environment look dirty. So I've reduced them now. Now let's go to device settings so that we see some configurations we can do there. So from device settings here, you can see this option here. Users may join their device to what? Entra ID. This one here. Users may join their device to Entra ID. Remember the other day, I changed it when I was teaching because I want it to be only selected users are able to join device to Entra ID, which is good. It's not good you allow all users to be able to join device to Entra ID. Example, maybe for instance, one of my users now, they was engaged in phishing and the credential was harvested. If the hackers have access to that credentials and they try to access maybe Outlook and they get an error in the browser that the device is not compliant, and they now check, okay, let's even enroll this device to Entra ID. They can just carry any device and join the device to Entra ID. But if I see all, they will be able to do that. But if I click on selected, meaning that if that user that was hacked is not among the selected user I marked here, then they will not be able to join that device to Entra ID. So what we are doing here now, we are thinking like the oppressors. We are thinking like the adversaries. Those are those bad guys. You need to think like them. Because if you say all users now will join the device to Entra ID, it means everybody. And it's not supposed to be so. So what I'll do is users may join the device to Entra ID. I'll click on this selected users here. Let me see the users that are there. So PIM global admin users. So meaning that anybody that is a member of this PIM will be able to join the device to Entra ID. Okay, let me add some other users, like the user we created yesterday. What is that her name, Seth? That is the help desk manager. What's that her name? Or is he? Let me check the chat because I dropped it yesterday. Her name should be because as an help desk manager, she'll be able to join device to she'll be able to join device to Entra ID. So I'm looking for her name. Her name is Miranda. So Miranda, she was employed as an help desk manager. So let me just add her so that she can be able to register device. Miranda Schneider, select. So this is Miranda Schneider now. So I've added her here. That means she'll be part of the users that can join device to that can join device to Entra ID. This Miranda. So two now selected, one group and one user. So now here users may register their device to Entra ID. Remember, register is different from join. This register now is you want the users to bring their own device. They should register it. So by default, it is set to all. So Microsoft is doing it so that at least everybody should be able to register their device. So that one is set to all. It's okay. It's not, at least it's still okay. So now for that one, I'll leave it that way. So for require multi-factor authentication to register device to Entra, here now, if you look at it, require multi-factor authentication to register device to Entra, it is set to yes. The reason why this is set to yes is because if I say no, meaning that if you want to register or join device to Entra ID, it will not ask you for MFA. So depending, you can see this one in here. We recommend that you require multi-factor authentication to register or join device with Microsoft using conditional access. Set the device settings to no if you require multi-factor authentication using conditional access. So me now in my environment, Microsoft is telling me that if I'm using conditional access policy, if I use conditional access policy in my environment, that I should set the device settings to no. If you require multi-factor authentication, so in this case, I will follow this warning. So I'll set it to no because currently I use conditional access policy in my environment. So you should take responsible of this. So I'll leave it. So now The next part is maximum number of devices a user can register. So some organization, they set it to 20. Some organization, they set it to 50. But to me, I will leave it to maybe 20, sha. Let me just leave it to 20 because even Microsoft is saying that 20 is recommended. What it means is that your users will be able to can have 20 devices. They can register or join 20 devices to your environment. That's the maximum number of devices per user. Per user,
Hello,
20
Oyimafu.
recommended. Yeah, hello?
Could you please zoom out your or is it zoom in your screen a little bit?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So the organization can be able to actually register, can be able to allow users to have more than 20 devices. But to me, 20 is okay. But on a normal day, 5. Me, I prefer 5 because how would you be giving people 20? There are some CTOs that they will tell you why. Make it 5, 20 is too much. But I will leave it at 20. So the next is local admin settings. So most of our systems, we have most of our systems, even the one you are using. If you go to, let's say, if you right click on your system like this, if you right click on your system and you go to computer management on your system, because we are doing Intune. As an Intune engineer, you need to understand Windows 11. You need to understand Windows device very well before you can even manage Intune properly. So if I click on local users now, if I come to groups, you see this group here, local administrator group, is this one here. This group here. If I open it now, I want to see the members of the group. So you can see the members of the group. See them here. All these ones. So these are the members of the local administrator group here. So just like we have here, local administrator group. So you can configure this also in your own environment. You can configure people that we have that will be local administrators on the devices in your environment. So in this case, what I will do is, I'll keep it to selected. So as it is now, global administrator role is added as local admin on the device during registration. On a normal day, this is good, but you can leave it to no because like you notice, I just came to my system. I went to computer management and I saw the group of local administrators. If it was an hacker, maybe for instance, the system is compromised, they can use that to know the global admins in your environment. So as much as you can, you reduce the attack surface. So doing all this is more or less like you are reducing the attack surface that hackers can actually have access to access your environment. So most of all these settings you see here, you won't just go with the default. You check them very well. As the case may be, you apply it to your organization. So global administrator role is added as local admin on device during Microsoft Entra ID join. No, I'll leave it as no. Then registering users. Registering users is added as local admin on devices during Entra ID join. So in some organization, this is set to all. So if you set it to all, it means that users that are registering their device, they will be added as local administrator on devices during Entra ID join. If you set it to all, it means why are you now doing the device management? Because the essence is you don't want to give users admin privilege over that laptop so that they don't do things that you don't want them to do. So if you don't give them admin privilege, what is now the essence? So that is why it's better you click selected. So I will open this page. Then I'm going to add that woman again. That woman of yesterday that is the help desk manager, who is Miranda. So I'll add Miranda here because she's the help desk manager. I want her to be able to, anytime there's any support and she wants to manage devices, she should have access. So I'll add Miranda Schneider. I'll say select, then I'll say okay. So with all this, after doing all this, you can still see other settings that you can do. Like you can enable local administrator password solution. In this case, I said no here. because I've not enabled it. But you can use this to manage all those local admin passwords in your environment. Maybe for instance, if somebody wants to install an application, you always have one local admin that you type in that system. So one of the risks of doing that is that if somebody working in your organization now leave your organization and he knows that local admin password, if the person maybe in future, maybe the wife now started working in your organization, the person can sign in as a local admin on that system because he knows the local admin password. Or aside that, maybe the person now have hidden plans for your organization. You can just look for somebody and pay the person. And you know some people they like money too much. You can just give them 100 key. Please give me your laptop. I want to check something. He will just log in as a local admin. Then from there, he can do a lot of things, get a lot of information that I want to get, do lateral movements, access different resources in the environment. So those are the things. So that is why you configure all these things so that each user will have his own local admin password, and that password will even expire after a particular days. So that is just this local admin password solution. You can read about it. Like we see here, Labs is the management of local account password on Windows devices. Labs provide a solution to securely manage and retrieve built-in local admin password with cloud version of Labs. So instead of using built-in local admin password, you can use Labs. So customer can enable storing rotation of local admin password for both Microsoft Entra and Microsoft Entra hybrid joint device. So it also works for both Entra ID. Yeah. So since we are done with all this, I'll click on save so that we can proceed with the next part. So I'm taking my time to explain all these basics because I know it's very important that we understand all these things. So the next that I want to do, I want to check my authentication methods that I have in my environment. So this is Entra ID. In the test environments that the community has given to you, you can play around it. Do your check, but don't go and do the one that will affect everybody, please. As you are doing your labs, please don't go and do the one that will now be like, what's this? So let me sign in. So it's asking me to sign in again. So so I want to see the authentication methods because I want to confirm if SMS is allowed. So I will go to, so here now, SMS settings is set to no. So this authentication method, now what it is that these are the authentication methods that your users can use. So multi-factor authentication, which is MFA, so it's scoped for all users. Then the temporary access pass is also scoped for all users. Email OTP is scoped for all users. So there's one I want to add. I want to add SMS so that my users should be able to receive SMS on settings. So I will enable SMS. Then after enabling it, I will also scope it for all users. SMS save. So you can add authentication methods that you want your staffs to use. So now I will join a device. I will perform Entra ID join on a live lab now. So just like yesterday, I showed us Hyper-V, how you can use it to create virtual machines. So one of these virtual machines that I have here, I'm going to join them to the Entra ID. So somebody was asking yesterday, does creating VM have any significance with what we are learning? Why are we doing it? So the reason is so that we can use it to test. So since I've started the VM, I will open it. I will connect to it. so that we can actually use it to see how to join a device to Entra ID. So I'll close this page. The device is already loading here. Then I will allow it to load. But before I join this device to Entra ID, so I want to use this woman. What's that her name? Her name is, why am I always forgetting her name? Uh, Her name is Miranda Schneider. So let me connect. Let me look for her here. So yesterday, I'll try using the password we used. So let me open that VM again. Let me see if it has opened. Okay, still loading. So I'll sign into the VM. I'll sign into the VM. Let me see if I remember the password. Okay, let me try this other password. Okay, I think this one worked. So I've logged into the VM now. So this is a virtual machine, and I want to use this virtual machine to practice Entra ID joined devices, so that we can see how we can join devices to Entra ID. And I'm using Miranda because she's the help desk, she's an help desk administrator, and she was employed as the help desk manager. So I'll be using her for this lab. So what I will do is, once it loads, I will open a browser in this virtual machine. So I'll just wait for it to load. So sometimes it can be slow, but I wonder why this one is slow. The capacity is high because I gave it good capacity. So, but let's just be patient. Sometimes all these things are not predictable. Cannot predict them. Okay, let me minimize it quickly. Let me check if I started the other one because, okay. So since I've signed into the VM now, I want to use Miranda. I want to use Miranda here. She's the one I want to use. So what I'll do is I'll go and copy her. I'll go and copy her email because I don't have her email. So I'll copy it because I want to register MFA for Miranda before I even join the device to Entra ID. So I'll open this browser here. I'll click on Start without your data, then confirm and start browsing, then continue without Google, confirm and start browsing. So I'll just go to office.com here, office.com. So the VM doesn't have internet. Why? Okay, I know what to do. So let me switch my network so that my VM will have internet, because if it doesn't have internet, there's no way I can be able to join the device to Entra. Okay. 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 So I need to fix this. I need to fix this internet issue. So can you hear me, or can you see my screen? Yeah. If you can see my screen, you can just give me a thumbs up. Yeah. You can just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Okay. I'm seeing no internet here. Okay, I can see some thumbs up. Okay, let me go and do something. Yes. Let me check my So those are part of the things you face in your own lab. So as I'm troubleshooting it, you follow along with me. So I'll configure the NIC of this lab now so that I can add an IP to it. Let me see if after adding it, it's going to have internet. So IP config /all. So what I'm doing is I have a router that I use for my connections. And my router is just like what I'm using to access internet. And that's the switch I used for this VM. So let me even confirm again, because most times in troubleshooting, it's good you confirm everything, because if you don't confirm, you will just end up doing something and it will just be there. So I'll go to settings, then from settings, oh, you see, network adapter not connected. You see, I would have been doing blind troubleshooting if I did not come here and check. So what I'll do is I'll just select my external switch here. So most of us, if you are creating your VM and you did not check the network, it won't browse. It is not magic. So you have to ensure that you create a network to allow it browse. So now that I've enabled network for that VM, let me check if to show internet access. So you can see here, it's trying to pick because I've given it internet. So most times, if you are stuck with an issue, just do your checks. Once you do your checks, you will discover that the solution is looking at you. So now I'll wait for this to load. Then I'll sign into Miranda. So this is Miranda here. I'll copy her email. Then I'll open the VM. I'll put her email here. I'll do next. Then the password we used yesterday, what was that password again? Because all these things, I think is here. Yeah. So I'm trying to sign in with the user first before I even join. So I've not started joining the device to Entra ID, because this user, I want the experience to be live. I don't want it to be like I'll go and use an existing user that I've been using before. Remember, this is a new user that I just employed. So they say the password is incorrect, right? So it's very easy. I will just come to my admin center here, no stress. I'll reset the password, because I can't now go and be thinking of the password I used yesterday, because I remember we used one password. So I've forgotten the password. So I'll just reset the password, JJ. I'll reset it. So to reset password of a user, just come to the user pin, then click on reset. Then you have reset the password. So I'll come back to the system. It's not good to save your password on browsers. So I'll just do paste. Then I'll do sign in. It will now go. So instead of me to be stressing myself, thinking of password, so I'll just put a new password now. Ensure that it matches. Then click on sign in. So it's telling us also to do is it SSPR? Let's just wait. Let's see where it will take us to next. Okay. It didn't ask for MFA, probably maybe. So let me just go ahead to use this account to enroll this device, to join this device to Entra ID. If you want to join a device to Entra ID, so everybody, let's pay attention. Let's pay attention, because this part is very important in order to join device to Entra ID, so that we can understand it properly. So there are some of the tasks you need to do before you join device to Entra ID. You don't just rush to go and join. So you right click on the system that you are working on. You right click on the system, then you go to systems. So from system here, I think this is not what I want. I think it's still loading, because I want us to see something. You can see this device name. This device name, it is the default name that came with the VM. most times this is not best practice. If you go to organization, you won't see names like this. So you need to rename it to suit the organization naming convention or naming structure. So you click on rename this PC so that you can even rename the PC. So it won't be carrying desktop, something, something. If auditors come and they see that your systems are still doing this, they will be like, who is the person that is managing this organization? That the systems are still having all this kind of stuff. So this name now that is here, I will give the PC that name. So I will say precise hyphen MKT hyphen 01. Then I'll click next. Then it will ask me to restart. So I'll restart it now so that the name will change. So once the name change, then I will now join the device to Entra. To save me stress of after joining, I'll now go and be renaming it. From Intune, if the device is enrolled to Intune, you can as well rename the device. You can rename it. You can go and rename the device from Intune. Then anytime the user restarts the system, it will automatically change. But since we are doing practical, so I want us to actually do it live. So I don't want it to be like I'm just I'm just doing magic, so that we'll understand how to do it in case maybe you just start working in an organization as an IT admin. If most of their devices are cloud only and they are joined to Entra ID, this is how you join devices. Your manager can say, let me look for somebody in the chat. Your manager can say, Adisayo, go and join this device to Entra ID. Charles, join this device. Sarah, Fidelsi, Emmanuel, Ezugu, go and join this device to Entra ID. So this is how you join device to Entra ID. So wait for the device to come on after renaming it so that we can go and join the device to Entra. So it's coming up. So most times the device name is very important. Like this device name now, precise MKT01, is telling me that this device belongs to a marketing user. There are some organizations you will see, if the name of the organization is, let's say, Forvis, it will be Forvis Biz 01. I'm not saying that is how Forvis name their own device. So I'm just giving an example of how most organizations name their device. The name of the organization will come first, then the departments, then a serial number that they can use to categorize. Like this O1 now can be the manager, the marketing manager. O2, team lead. O3, the oldest person. So I'll just sign in. So once I sign in, I'll now go ahead to like I'll go ahead to join this device to Entra ID. So that we'll see how to join device to Entra ID. If there's any error, we'll troubleshoot it. It's even good we have error so that everybody will learn from it. In case maybe you jam something like that in the future, it will be easier for you to still scale through. So we'll just wait for it to load. We'll be patient. This one, we can't do magic. We have to be patient because we are following our curriculum. So it's still loading. So we'll wait for it to load. So now that it has loaded, I'll just refresh. Just treat the system as if it's your normal laptop. Most times when we start our systems, we refresh it. You click on refresh. You click on refresh. Then once you click on refresh, you click on the Windows button here. From the Windows button, you go to settings. You can go to settings from here, or you type settings. So see what I typed. So it will take us to settings now. Let's just watch. So it will show settings, then we'll click on it. So I'll click on settings here. So any way that suits you, you can use it to go to settings. You can right click from Windows key here. If you right click on Windows key, you will see settings. So let's see. So it's still loading. So we'll just use that one. But there are many ways you can go to settings. So it's either you search here, then it takes you to settings, or you right click on the Windows key here, then you go to settings here. So it's still the same thing. Many road leads to the market. Anyone you want to follow, you follow. So let's wait for these settings to load. So I don't know why it's taking much time. So let me refresh. Maybe you want me to give it 8 gig RAM so that it can be fast. But it's supposed to be fast. Even 4 gig RAM is okay. Okay. So let me click on settings again. Because we need to go to settings in order to actually join a device to Entra ID. So it's from the setting page that you access the necessary places that you need to click on so that you can join a device to Entra ID. So this one that this server is taking time to open common settings. So let me refresh. Let me refresh it again. So let me do multiple refresh. Then let me use Task Manager to close it because I don't trust these settings. Let me just close this with Task Manager so that everything will just close pertaining to settings because it's supposed to have opened. So I wonder why it's taking time. So let me check. Let me check Task Manager. Let me even see if there's any process. Your system is lagging, maybe. Okay, it could be, but my system is not lagging. I wonder why, because this is the virtual machine. And my system is 32 gig RAM. So it could be that maybe I need to wait for the system to boot first. So here now, what is consuming is the memory that is spiking. The memory of the system is 78. So from Task Manager, if your system is misbehaving, you will know. So the CPU utilization is 33, 77. It's going up, it's coming down. So it's going up, it's coming down. What it means is that there are some processes that is running on the system that is making all these things to go up. The disk is 100%. How comes? Let me check. Because I've not really used anything in the disk. So let me see why it is 100%. Because it's even taking time to load. So, but we'll work on it. That is why we are here. So if it's to increase the capacity of the system, we will do that so that we can achieve our aim. So File Explorer is taking 63.1 MB. Then other ones are 0.2. So most times, if your system is dragging, if you come to Task Manager, you will see the resources that is making it to drag. So what I'll do is, what should I do now? Let me first of all investigate from here first. So yeah, thanks for the feedback and the suggestions. So I'll just wait for it to open so that we can see if maybe there's still space or the space is small so that I can add to it. So I still have space, 54.5 gig free. Then why is it acting as if the disk is so small? So you can see now the CPU is coming down. So what I'll do is I'll go to settings again. Let me see this time. If it doesn't open, then I'll go and increase the capacity of the system so that it can at least work for us to do our lab today. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, it has opened. So let me close all these guys. Wow, that's true. I like the suggestions that we are given. So somebody said I gave the VM network access, and that's actually a good suggestion. So you give your VM network access. Maybe Windows update is running. Wow. That person is very intelligent. It could be. So let me see if I can. Let me go and turn off Windows updates. Let me go to services, because it's true. Windows update may be running. My mind did not even go there. So from services now, I want to turn off Windows updates. So let me leave only one open. At least I will just click on Win. So from Win, it will show me Windows updates. So let me look for Windows updates. So let me stop it. So once I stop it now, at least Windows update will not run. I don't want update to be running on the computer. Thank you very much for that suggestion. Later, we can run Windows updates. So this is settings now. On the settings page, if you want to enroll your system to Entra ID, you click on account. So you go to account. So from accounts, you will scroll down. You will see your info. This your info now. If you click on it, it will show you like the information of the system. So Oyimafu is a local user and it's a local account administrator. So you can even put a picture here. You can do a lot of things. But remember, this is a virtual machine. That's why you see that open camera is graded, because I did not connect a camera to it. So you see other settings like sign in options. So if I open these sign in options now, if it was a physical computer, you will see different options there. But because you see now, the only option for this system is password. I can't use I can't use facial recognition. I can't use PIN. I can't use what's that one again? I can't use thumbprints. Like I can't use thumbprint on the system because it doesn't support all those sign-in methods. I can't even use PIN. It's just password. So those are the things you see on your own. So in case you want to do any lab, they say you should set up PIN. You should set up maybe Windows. You want to set up Windows Hello for business. Most of all these VMs, you can't do that. So from accounts, what you have business with is access work or school. If you want to join devices to Entra ID. So I'll click on access work or school. Then from here, you have different options. You have add a work or school account. And you have other settings like export related settings, create a test taking, add or remove a provisioning package. So all these things are what hackers use. If you are actually managing an environment and you allow users to be able to add package, it's not best practice. So most times there are some things that you need to watch. It's not everything you allow. So these are some settings, but what we are interested here now, we want to join this device to Entra ID. If, for instance, you want to only enroll the device to Intune, then you can click on this feature here. If you click on this enroll only in device management, it means that you want to just enroll the device to Intune, but you don't want to join the device to Entra ID. You can enroll a device to Intune only. That's the BYOD I was talking about. The device will be registered and it will be joined to Intune. It will be enrolled to Intune, but it will not be joined to Entra. So let's join this device to Entra ID. I'll click on connect. So once I click on connect, I will see some options here. So let's just wait for it to open the connect page. So I'm using Miranda. So I'll copy Miranda's email because she's the help desk manager. So she's the one working on setting up systems. Yeah. So this page now you see here, this is where you have the option to join device to Entra ID. You see this button here, this is what you will click if you want to join the device to Entra ID. I will say joining device to Entra ID is an intentional process. It is not done by mistake. If you put only your email, if you put your email here and you do next, what you are doing is you are registering the device to Entra. You are not joining it. But if you click on this join, it means that you want to join the device to Entra. Then the next one is join this device to local Active Directory. If, for instance, you are using a local Active Directory like AD, then and you want to join the device to AD, you can click on join. But we are using cloud only. Me, I don't have money to manage Active Directory domain controller. So that's why I'm using cloud. I don't want Active Directory stress. So I'll just click on join this device to Entra ID. So it will ask me for an email. So I will just provide that email here once that page pops up. So I'll paste Miranda's email because she's the help desk manager. Then I'll do next. Then I'll put her password. I'll do sign in. So you will see just a moment. Then you will now see, okay, you see an error. Looks like we can't connect to the URL for your organization, MDN terms of use. Try again or contact your system administrator with a problem information. So description, failed to authenticate user. Okay, so this is one of the common error you will get. So let me screenshot this error so I can add it to my knowledge base. Because most times all these things is good. You experience all these things so that whenever you have issues like this in the future, you can be able to like prefer solution to them fast. So that's just one advantage. So let me take a screenshot. Why is it showing me? Okay. Should be able to screenshot this page now. Okay, I'm coming. So let me drop it in the chat. So I've dropped the error in the chat. So for the meantime, I'll look at this error. So, but for me to really I want to find out now if this error is user associated or it's domain wide, because from here we can see that we can't connect to your organization MDN terms of use. So it's complaining about terms of use. So I need to go and check if I've configured terms of use. So we'll troubleshoot it together. All of us will troubleshoot it on the call. So that at least in case maybe you have access to something like that, it will be easier for you. So we'll just check what we need to do. So it's good we at least look at all these things, then try to fix them on our own. Oh, so sure you can see something now. The reason why I cannot use this device to enroll is because one, you see the way troubleshooting works. If you come here now, this Miranda, she only have the role, but she don't have any license, like any license that gives her access to enroll or use any device in Microsoft Intune, which I want us to look at. So for you to use Intune, you need a particular license to use Intune. You need Business Premium. Business Premium comes with an add-on for Intune or Enterprise Mobility, or let's say the enterprise plans like E3 or E5. So let me assign a license to this help desk manager. Let's try again. Let's see if it's going to work. So we can actually check. So let me go to M365 Admin Center, because if you want to actually do license assignments, you use M365 Admin Center. So let me go to admin.microsoft.com. So all these things are things that you will meet in the future. So it's good you actually know how to find your way around them. So I'll check that. Then there are some couple of things I will still check after checking that. But let me first of all assign the license to the user first. So we'll just wait for it to load. So I'll go to users, then active users. So this is M365 Admin Center. You can also manage users here, but the difference between M365 Admin Center and Entra is basically for identity management. Here, you can do a lot of things, but Entra is basically for identity management. So I'll search for Miranda so that I can assign Intune license to her. So I'll select Miranda. You see here on license. Then I'll now assign a license to Miranda. Let me see if I even have any free license. Do I have? Okay, I have one. So I'll check it. Then I'll collapse the apps so that we can see the apps that comes with this license. So if you look at it here, Microsoft Information Protection P1, Azure Information Protection P2. But what I'm interested in is Intune. So let me go down to see if this license comes with Intune. Yeah, it comes with Microsoft Intune Plan 1. Yeah, so because of this, that means I can actually join this device to Entra. So I'll just add this license. And I also have Entra ID premium license. I have P2. So those are the things that you need. So you need to have all these prerequisites met before you'll be able to even do all this lab that I'm currently trying to do. So I'll close. I've already assigned license to Miranda. Then there's another thing again I want to check. So for automatic enrollment, I added her to be able to do that. So I will go to I'll go back to Entra ID. Let me search for mobility. Let me see if there's anything like that. Okay. So I will select mobility here. Let me see the settings. If I've configured those settings that Microsoft is asking me to configure. So I'm seeing Microsoft Intune, then Microsoft Intune enrollment. So let me verify for Microsoft Intune first. Let me see. So for Microsoft Intune, MDM scope is scoped to all. So all means all users in my environment, they can actually use mobile device management features. And this is the MDM URL. So I've set all these things. So Windows Information Protection WIP user scope is set to none. So with this, I can go and try again to see if Miranda will be able to join that device to Entra ID. So let's see if we will have luck. So let me try again. So I'll just copy our email address. So let me say Miranda. So this is our email. I'll just copy it. Then I'll come to my VM. I'll paste it. And I'll do next. I'll put the password. Okay, let's see if this time luck will shine on us. And if luck doesn't shine, we'll find a way around it, at least. Okay, same error, right? Try again or contact your system administrator with the problem from this page. Okay, what I'll do now is that I'll try using my own account. So let me isolate if it's account related or if it's user account. So let me use mine. So you click on join this device to Entra. So I'll select join this device to Entra. Or probably maybe the settings have not synced. But let's just try my own account first. So probably two things. It could be that maybe the settings I just configured, the settings have not synchronized. That's why. And we'll still try Miranda again for another device. So in this case, Microsoft is telling me that make sure this is your organization. If you continue, system policy might be turned on or other changes might be made to your PC. Is this the right organization? Connecting to precise.com.ng, username, user administrator. So if, for instance, you are doing this, you are supposed to read this. If, for instance, you see maybe gonzalo.com, or you see any domain that is not your domain, you can say cancel. But because me, I'm sure that this is my organization, I'll say join. Let's see. So you wait for it to join. You wait for the device to join. So we got another error again. Confirm you are using the correct sign-in information. I am going to use it. You can try to contact system administrator. This is a so we can see that administration policy does not allow user. Okay, do you know what I will do? I'll just go and check the policy I created. So sometimes when you are an admin and you are doing a lot of settings to your environment, is when you are like doing all these things, so it will allow you to you have to check everything to ensure that everything is up to date. So let me go to device settings. So let me see if this group here, if I'm a member of this group, let me see. So let me see the members. I should be there now. Okay, you see I'm not there. Because I'm not a member of this PIM Global Admin Group, that is why I'm unable to join that device. Had it been I use Bill Norman or Chris Green, it's going to work. So I'm not going to add myself here because I'm the default global admin. So I'll just come here. I will add myself here as a member since except if maybe I should use those other guys since they are here. So instead of me to add myself, so let me use, should I use Chris? No, let me use myself. So let me add myself as a member so that I'll, as a user that can join device to Entra ID. So all these things, they are real. You can see I'm a global admin of the organization, but because I'm not among the people that are allowed to join devices, I'm unable to. So that you're a global admin doesn't mean that you'll just be able to just do anything. So on a normal day, there are some specific people that this is their responsibility to join device to Entra ID. So most times they will just give them that privilege, not everybody. So I will just save this, and I hope we are also learning from all this experience too, because it will guide you when you're actually talking to clients, you are doing your deployments, you are even writing exam. You will see all these things there. So let me confirm again if the user is already there. Okay, I'm here. So I'll refresh the page. I will now come back to my lab. I'll try again. So you won't stop trying. You will keep trying. If you say you should stop, talk. Are you sabi? So you just have to try, no matter how. Just keep trying. Even if you fail, you are not supposed to give up. Precise. Okay, so let me go next. Let me see. Did I even click on join? So let me cancel. Let me connect again. Because maybe I just put my email there. So you will make sure you click on join this device to Entra ID. If you want to join the device to Entra ID, I believe with all these things, we'll all be familiar with join device to Entra ID. So I will now put my email here. Okay, sign in. So it will show those things. Then let's see if this time it will allow me to join in peace without any error. So it works. At least we have seen how we can troubleshoot. So it's remaining the other girl now, Miranda. If this one work, then we'll try Miranda. We'll try registering device with Miranda so that let's see how we can register devices with her. Wow, you see, it has worked. So this device now has been connected to Precise Online Market. When you are ready to use a new account, select the button, select your current account profile and select switch user. So we are going to see one use case of this particular joining device to Entra. So we're going to see one use case. So I'll click on done. So this device now has been joined to Entra ID automatically. I've joined it to Entra ID. We faced two blockers during this. So the first blocker was Miranda that we're trying to use to join the device to Entra ID. We did not assign license to our account. Then the settings need to sync before we'll be able to try again. But we now had to use a global admin and we had an error joining the device to Entra with the global admin. Why? Because there is a setting configured in device settings here that allows only specific people to be able to join devices to Entra ID, which is in the device settings here. Just 3 people are able to join device to Entra ID. So now that we have been able to join this device to Entra ID, let's continue with the next steps before we close for the day. So now, after joining a device to Entra ID, there are some ways you can validate if the device has successfully joined to the organization. One of the ways to validate is using PowerShell. So let's open PowerShell so that we can check. So just open PowerShell. So you click on it like this. So once you open it on the system, you wait for PowerShell to open. So once it's open, there's a command you run. So this command, if you want to be an Intune person, you want to be able to manage devices, you don't need to forget this command. It needs to be an handy command. When you are doing IT work, it is not everything you cram in your head, but there are some things that you should cram, you should memorize. This particular command I want to run now is something that you need to hold handy as an admin. So it's dsreg cmd / status. So you can forget any other command, but you see this one, don't forget it. Because if you are having error, this command can save you a whole lot of stress when you are having issues with some devices that you are trying to join and it's giving you error. So we click on status, we run it. So if you look at this command now, if I go up, you will see something. DS means device states, device state registration command, device registration command, status. So you can see here, Azure AD join, yes. This device now is joined to Azure AD. Domain join, no. This domain join now, if you join this device to, let's say, the local domain controller, domain join will be yes. But because you did not join this device to local domain controller, it is no. But you join it to Azure AD is yes. So sometimes if you are troubleshooting or you want to confirm if the device is actually has been joined to Azure AD, then You need to come here and look at it very well that, okay, yes, this device has been joined before you go and tell your manager that the device has been joined. So we can see here, TPM protected. Yes, trusted platform module is protecting this device. So device authentication status, success. So there are some things you check. You will now see some things. The tenant ID, you see it here. The auth code, you see it here. The MDM URL, those things we saw in mobility. So if I open mobility now, we'll see all this URL here. Enrollment server, terms of use of ASP, action.compliance.asp. So let me go back to mobility. So if you click on mobility now from Entra ID, most times you can just come to search here, just type mobility. So from mobility, you have two stuff here. You have Microsoft Intune enrollment and you have Microsoft Intune. So I'll click on Microsoft Intune. You will now see all these things: compliance URL, portal.manage, enrollments.manage, portal.manage.microsoft.com. If you come back here now, you'll see it. You'll see it. Sorry, where is that VM again? So see all these things. They are the same thing. You see it here. We can compare them. MDM terms of use URL. Where is it? Discovery.sbc. This is the MDM URL, which is this one. Then if you still look down, you'll see the terms. This is the terms of use URL, terms of use.asp. So you can see that it's the same. So anything you set here, you are going to see it in the device. So the user state now, we can see workplace joined. No. You can see other settings here. And you can see the account that is signed in or the account that run the command. Oyimafu was one that ran it. So you will see other features too. So this is how you can use to validate if a device is joined to Entra ID. And remember, we did something again. So if I come to device settings, there was something we configured again. Now we are doing device management in Intune. So here we have local admin, users that will be added to local admin. So I think I'm looking for that settings. We selected two members here, local administrator settings. So registering user is added as a local administrator during device. So let me see. So I added Miranda and the global admin group. So if I come back to this VM now, and I go to local admin settings, let's see if those users will be in the administrators group. I will right click on the Windows key here. I will go to computer management. So let's see if Miranda is in the local admin group. If she's not there, then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure why she's not there. So she's not here. She's supposed to be here. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out why she's not here. We'll figure it out. So here now, registering user is added. Although she's not the one that registered that user. I didn't think she was the one that registered the user. Probably she'll be there. So we'll try her. We'll try her account later on. So in that case, now that we have joined this device to Entra ID, I know after the class, this is the last this is the last thing we are going to do. Somebody can ask me, what is even the essence of joining device to Entra ID? Why? Why are we joining device to Entra ID? One of the reasons why you are joining device to Entra ID is so that device, users will be able to sign into that device using their email credentials. And aside that, so that you will be able to manage the users, so that you'll be able to manage everything about the device. You have full control, unlike registered. So that's why you are joining the device to Entra. So I will sign in with Miranda. So what I will do is I will click on the Oyimafu here. Because I've joined this device to Entra ID, I'll click on sign out. So I'll sign out of this particular guy so that it should not be on the system, so that I can sign in with another user. So let me see if that is going to work, but it should work. So here now, what I will do is I may need to click on this button here so that I can, because I want to sign in with another user. Okay, maybe there is something I need to do. So let me do this. Because I want to see I want to see the other user option so that I can sign in with another user. So Oyimafu now is the local admin, and this account is a local account. I want to sign in with an account that exists in Entra ID because this computer has been joined to Entra ID. So I'll select other user. Then I'll put Miranda's email. I'll sign in with Miranda. So I'll select Miranda here. Then I will now open her. I will now sign in with Miranda. So I'll go back to my system. Then I'll put her email address. Okay. So I may need to type it. Or let me see. I may need to type it. So let me just take the pen and type it. So MSN at then I'll put the password. Then I'll click on Go. To sign in remotely, you need to sign in with by default members of remote desktop user group, right? You need to have the right to sign in. So what I'll do is because we are using a virtual machine, that's why we're having this issue. So let me do something so that I can just get past that error. So, but in a nutshell, that is how you join devices to Entra ID. So we can start question and answer so that we can close early today. So the floor is open. Those that have questions, you can ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Oyimafu. This is nice. Please let us give him a round of applause. Let's give him some clapping emojis, some love emojis, anything within your reach. We have 3 hands raised at this point. I'm going to allow Mike or two. I'm going to allow Mike for all of them at a go. So you can come one after the other. The first person being Charles. You can go now, Charles.
Good
Charles,
evening. Yeah, good evening.
hi, good evening.
Yeah, my question is number one, if you create your virtual machine, first I will appreciate Mr. Imafu so well for the class. I appreciate you so well. So if you create your virtual machine and you don't want the virtual machine again, you want to delete it or you want to delete it, what will you do?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very practical question, and I really appreciate the question. So if you want
All
to
right.
delete a virtual machine, this is what you will do. So let me just show it practically, so everybody will see how to do it. So if I open Hyper-V Manager here now, let's say I want to delete this VM. If I right click on this VM and say delete, do you know what I just did? I just delete the VM from the console here. The VM
Okay.
disks and the VM files will still remain. I'm only deleting it from here, but
Okay.
the properties of the VM will still remain. So if you want to properly delete a VM, so what you do is, firstly, because some of you, the way you configured your own VM, it could be that you use the default location. You didn't specify a particular location for your VM, for your VMs and your VHD. So what you do is you right click on the VM, you go to settings first, so that you will even know the path where those your files are saved. So one of the important one is this hard disk. So because this hard disk now, if you are creating a VM and automatically because of you are installing Windows 11, it can eat up to, let's say, like 30 gig. So if it's best practice when you want to delete your VM, you delete the hard drive like this. So as it is now, I know my own is in this location. So your own, it could be in another location. Ensure that you go to this location and you delete the VHD. If you don't delete the location, the VHD from this location, and you delete the VM from here, the VM will not show here, but the VM files are still existing. Let's say I don't want to delete this one, but let's say I want to delete it. I'll right click and say delete. Then I will now come to my system where those files are saved, which is the D drive. They are here. I will open this VHD. You see why it's good to arrange your disks and your VMs, both the VMs and the VHD. I will come here. You see the VHD here. I will delete it. If I delete it, it will delete. It will delete. Then the VM will delete. But because I don't want to delete it, I would have deleted it. So after you are done with the VHD, you will now come to your VMs. Then you go to that same one and you delete all the files. You can see some files here. All these are VM files. Had it been I did not create folder like this, everything will be scattered. You see VMs, you see this one, everything will just be like a rough environment. So that's why I created folders for my VMs and for my VHDs so that I can manage my environment properly. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, you've answered. I appreciate very well. So, secondly, if you create a virtual machine and you have saved your file, is there a possibility that the virtual machine can crash, like a hard drive just crash and things will not work again?
So most times it's crash because maybe, most of the errors that happen, let's be realistic. Even me, when I was learning Hyper-V, most of my VMs will just crash. It was my
Okay.
error. It was my error. It could be that maybe I was trying to do something and I'll go and tamper with some of the files. It will not come on again. The VM will not start. It will be giving me some kind of error. This,
Okay.
this. So it's human error. So I
Okay.
made a lot of mistakes then too when I was doing my own. Some of the VMs, I'll try to log in, it will not log in. A lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, but I was able to learn by experience. So my
Okay.
advice for you is that some of the things that makes your VM to crash, it could be something you mistakenly click or you did something because most times things don't just happen like that. And again, it could be that maybe your disks, you said your disks, the size of your disk is very low. And because
Okay.
it's low, it's making the VM to hang. It may be hanging, and your system capacity too may not be very high.
Okay.
So if the VM is crashing, those are the things. It could be maybe misconfiguration. We did not configure it well, which
All
all
right.
of us, we were once in that shoe. Even me, I was once in that shoe too, where I made such mistakes. So that's just it. I don't know if you have any other question or I've answered your
Eh,
question.
You have answered very well. Lastly, sorry for everybody. I'm very sorry. Lastly, we are learning even as I'm asking though. The last question I want to ask is that if, for instance, you create the virtual machine, and you save your documents and file inside, and the machine crash, is it possibility for you to get those files and get the files back?
Okay, please, can you come again with your question? I lost your
Uh,
voice and I don't want
oh,
to answer and
okay,
I
okay,
did
yeah.
not answer properly.
I said, for instance, you create the virtual machine and you have saved your files and you were working with it and you save your file in the machine and machine crash. So is it possibility that you can get those your files back?
Okay, you see one advantage of virtual machine.
Yeah.
You see this VM that I have here.
All right.
This particular VM.
Yeah.
I have my VMs. So you see this this VM now that you see here,
Yeah.
and this precise MKT03. If I open this VHD now is for this VM here. If I copy this VHD and send to you, and you create a VM from this VHD, you will see everything I have there. Everything. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
even if your system, maybe something happened to your system, God forbid. We're not praying for anything to happen to your system. So long as nothing affected the hard disk. If the hard disk is intact, if you buy another system, all you need to do is to spin up another Hyper-V, create your VMs, attach the VHD like this to the VM, and it will start. So long as there's an OS, you will work. I've encountered things like that, like everything just crash. But so long as the VHDs are intact, we're still able to recreate the VMs, and they worked.
Okay. No problem. Thank you very much for the answers.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Who is the next person? This was okay. Yes, Udo, you can go ahead. Your mic is able.
Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes,
can hear
yes,
you.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for the presentation. Sorry, I have a lot of questions, but I'll just narrow it down to a little bit explanation I need on this Entra ID. So an organization that has should I say an offline Entra ID per se, how do you call it?
Local Active Directory.
AD, yes. So now, does this replace that? Because I've been in a place, in a system that we are not using this. So you need to add each user to the domain. But what I saw so far, you've not added, just name the user and add it to the Entra ID. So now, how does this, what are the differences? What is this one better than the local one aside the cloud management?
Okay. So better still, like I made mention, I won't say this one is better than the other one because both of them are good. It depends on the use case. There are some organizations that everything all their informations, all their servers, they are on-prem. They don't have anything to do in the cloud. So it depends on the regulatory body governing your organization. If they don't want you to have anything in the cloud, then you can use local Active Directory. But if you don't have anybody governing your organization, then most times you can use hybrid. You can have maybe your users created on-prem, then sync to M365. So the reason why I did not really touch Active Directory is because if I touch Active Directory, a lot of us will be confused. And I don't want us to be confused. That's why I'm just doing Entra ID. I'm doing Entra ID. That was why I was like, I'm going to check our mentor, Madam Olajumoke. She has sections that she has done on Active Directory. If you watch them, believe me, you understand Active Directory very well. So I will look for those links and share.
Please,
So
I
that you
really
can
appreciate.
watch. You can watch and learn.
So, all right, I'll appreciate that. Then, so now, from what I observed so far, does you adding users to the Entra ID now, is it only users that have a specific role to perform, like what you just did with that Merinda? Or is it that you need any user in the organization, or said all users in the organization, you must add them to Entra ID? Just as how you add users to domain, like add system to domain using the local Active Directory.
Okay, I like this your question. So let me explain that question using this so that everybody will understand. So let me use visual. Let me use visual to explain it. So everybody will grab because we are all learning. We are all learning. So even me, I've learned some things from us today. So we have an organization. Let's say this organization, let me use users. So sometimes visual can be very slow. So I'm looking for users. This organization have several users. several users. So a lot of them, a lot of users. So each of these users now, these users now that we have here, these ones are internal. I'll name them very well. So we now have guest users. These ones are guests. These ones are guests because most times the internal users is always more than the guests. Yeah. And let me use a triangle. Use a rectangle. So these users now we have here, they are internal users. These are internal users. Besides online markets, these are internal users. Then these guys here, they are external users. External. And these are guests. External users. So this could be guests or consultants. So guest or consultant. And all these guys that you see here, they have devices. So the internal users now, they have their device. Maybe when they came to the organization, we gave them laptops. Just like physical laptops. You know, this one we're using now, it's a virtual machine. It's not a physical machine. So they give these guys physical laptops. So let me see the devices that they are going to, that Visual is going to bring. So let me see. No, do I have anything like laptop here? So let me just put computer so that it will give us computer. Here. So what I was trying to explain, but I don't know why. Let me check again. It just okay. I think I will just start again because the use case, because I wanted to use image because I believe it will be easier for us to understand. So, but let me just use fewer users so that it won't be much because I wonder why the visual just crashed. So let me even use small users. Let me not use those type of users that I used. So these are internal users, right? Then these are external users. We have two external users. So most times for these guys to work, they need a computer. They need a computer to work. A computer, a laptop. So okay, this is a laptop here. So this guy has his own laptop. Then this guy has his own laptop. We have only two laptops here. Then these other guys, they have their own laptop. Then this one too has his own laptop. So this laptop now, for this guy, this one here, to be able to sign in with his email to this laptop, the laptop needs to be joined to Entra ID, the Entra ID of the organization. Entra ID. And that laptop must be owned by the organization. So this laptop now has to be joined to Entra ID. this laptop, it has to be joined to Entra ID. Same with this other one too. This one here. So this one has to also be joined to Entra ID. This one. So it has to be joined to Entra ID. So the advantage of joining devices to Entra ID is that if these two guys now, maybe both of them, they are help desks. Let me say these two people here, they are help desks. And because they are help desks, I don't want to buy a laptop for this guy and buy a laptop for this guy. They are working on shifts. In the morning, this one will work. In the afternoon, this one will work. Because this laptop is joined to Entra ID, this guy can sign into this laptop and work. This one also can sign into this laptop. Then maybe this guy is their manager, is the help desk manager. So he alone have access to this laptop, but any other person can still sign into the laptop. So the advantage of joining devices to Entra ID is most times if users resign, another person can just start using the laptop immediately. They will just sign in and start using it. And aside that, because this laptop is joined to Entra ID, the organization have full management. They have full management to this device. Full management. Because it is owned by the organization. Why for these guys here? Their devices has to be registered because it is not the organization that owns it. Register their device. So if these two guys are in the same company, because they're in the same company, and one thing with registration of device, if you register a device, the user cannot sign in with their email. They will be signing with local user because they are the owner of the system. But you see, joining device to Entra ID, the user will be able to sign into that device with their email, just like I was trying to demonstrate. So I will find a way to add those users to local admin group so that they will be able to sign into any VM also, because this is a known error. So I'll fix it so that by next week Saturday, by God's grace, at least we'll be able to see how two people or multiple people in an organization can sign into a PC just like this. The way these two people are in the same department now. This person here can log into the PC. This lady can log into this PC. And also this man can also log into this PC. Because both of them are actually in the same organization and they are working different time. So that's the advantage of Entra ID. They can log in with their email, just like we saw here the other time, where we saw other user. So you can as well sign in. The other person can sign in. So that's just it. I don't know if I answered your question or you still need me to throw more light on it.
Okay, that was clear. Thanks. Another question is about they can multi-factor authentication be enabled? Like when user is trying to sign in with that email, is there any way, like is there any configuration that, because I've seen some instances where they are using the local AD, you have to be a MFA somewhere, maybe on your phone for you to, when you type your username, you type your password, then you type your MFA. So when you add system to Entra ID, can the local system, like when users want to sign in with their email, is there any way that there will be a provision for that, like from the setting? I don't know where you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you are saying. So for the first time, if you want to sign into a device, it will ask you for MFA. If MFA is configured in the organization, it will ask you for MFA, but the admin must configure it. So if you configure MFA, for sure, it will ask you for MFA. Just like
logging into the system, I mean, not on any of the platform, like into the system.
Logging in into the system. We are going to practice it next week. You'll see it.
Okay.
The person I'm going to use to sign in, the person will have to provide second level authentication before he can sign into that system, because there needs to be verification to be sure that that person is who they claim to be. So it's something doable and is working. I've seen it work. I've seen it work.
Okay, now, so regarding the administrative privilege, is it still going to be managed back in? Like if a user sign in, like let me say with my email now, and I'm not an admin, I might not be able to maybe carry out any installation on the system.
Yes, you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to do that. But for your users not to be able to do that, you need to be intentional about your device settings. So you can see here, this setting here, registering user is added as local admin on the device during Microsoft Entra. If you say all, it means that all your users, everybody, those things that you don't want them to install, they'll be able to install it. But if you select few people that will be added as local administrators, then they won't be able to do it. So with these settings, if you only put selected members and that staff is not part of these selected members, they will not be able to install any app without the admin consent.
So the concept of OU, like organizational unit, does it also apply here?
Okay, so you know that you are talking about local Active Directory because you understand local Active Directory. So for local Active Directory now, on a normal day, any device that is joined to, let's say, a domain, that device normally they are just users. If you are not a member of the domain admin, you are not a member of the enterprise admin, you won't be able to do some admin right on that system. Then on the system itself, users are not added as local admin automatically once you are joining them to the domain. So that is still the same thing that Microsoft is extending to Entra ID device settings. All those things you can configure in on-prem. Here, you can just come here. Okay, this person, I want them to be able to add users. I want them to be able to do this. So on a normal day now, global administrator role is added to local. Admin, I say yes. Me in my environment, I'm a global admin. I will be added as local administrator, but it is not good because if God forbid they hack any of my devices and all, that means they will just go to local admin and see all my global admins. It's very risky. They will now know who to target, which is not good. So that is why all these things, you need to be intentional about it. It's not good you allow all your users to be member of local admin so that at least there will still be restrictions. So that's just it.
All right, thank you. Then subsequent question will be maybe next week when we do the MFA.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I still have Chelsea's hand up. I don't know if he still has a question, but if you don't have a question, you can drop your hand. And that's the last person that we have. And I don't think we have any question in the chat area because I've checked. There's no question here. So yes, for more information for also, this class is usually recorded and the links will be shared. So the links to the recordings will be shared in the WhatsApp groups and Discord. And these classes happen Saturdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So in the event that people are coming to me to ask, some people are still asking when the class time and then days are. So that's for those people who don't already know. And yes, this will bring us to the end of the session tonight. This is already 10:14 p.m. Right. So I want to thank everyone for coming, for staying by, for hanging around, and for learning one or two. Also, I want to thank Emmanuel Oyimafu for coming. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. This has been a really insightful session, and you will all agree with me that everyone here has learned one or two, including me. So let's give him a wonderful clapping emoji. Thank you very much. I should bring this session to a close. So we'll meet here again, same time next week, Saturday, or let's say this week, Saturday, to continue from where we have stopped. Thank you and have a very lovely night and a wonderful week ahead. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.